Happy holidays. Merry Christmas season. We are so glad you're joining us here on Smart Talk. And I know my other hosts here are rolling their eyes at me because it's never too soon to get ready for the holidays.
It is too soon.
It is too soon, but now we've gone through chronological order, and now we've had Thanksgiving, so now it's officially Christmas season. So yes,
technically,
yes,
technically and officially, yeah. All right.
So if you're watching this Smart Talk, you haven't seen, yes, the last episode was on Thanksgiving, and it was a really great episode. That is something I would like y'all to search out and go back and find and share it, because we did talk about some really sensitive issues, and we're not going to go into that now. So you have to go see the episode. We don't want you to miss it.
That's right.
But this
That's right. It might help you for Christmas too. So.
Yeah, exactly. Because the holidays isn't always cheerful and happy for everyone. And people go through different cycles in their life when you may have a great holiday season, but then you may be facing one that's not so great. And we're here with you for all of those. But this one, we want to be Santa's little helpers for business owners and entrepreneurs, because this 2020 year has been a whirlwind, to say the least. Just something. So each one of us is going to bring some really great resources. I'm going to let them tell you real quick what we're going to bring to this episode. So you're going to want to stay tuned and watch, because we've got some great things for you. Go ahead, Melissa. Mark, tell us what you got for us today.
So what I'm going to bring to the table is those who may not be having such a great year, and there's no shame in your game, even if you got no game. So I'm going to have some resources. If you need some help with toys or with utilities, I'm going to give you those organizations that you can reach out to.
That's great.
All right. And I'm going to give you some ideas. If you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're not having one of those banner years like you normally have. I'm going to give you some ideas where you can show your appreciation to your client base and your customers, and still feel like you're in that giving spirit. So I got some great economical ideas for ways that you can show your appreciation to the community at large or to your customer base, and still feel really good about making somebody else's holiday feel special too.
Perfect. I know you've got a great list of some great gift ideas for under like 30 or 40 bucks. So we'll get to that too. But is anybody having a stellar year in 2020? If you are, we want to know about it. Tell us about your stellar year. If you've done great things and pivoted. And I know I've done, we've all three have done some really fun things. The show started. So there is a lot of good things happening. But I want to get right into some of the dates and some of the ways that for those of you who are still in business and you want to just up your game for the holidays and you want to get everything in one spot, I'm going to give you some dates and some ideas on what you can do with your business right now to get some more excitement going virtually, online, or even if you still have a brick or mortar. Depends on what kind of business you're in. So we all know about Black Friday. Okay. Friday of Thanksgiving. If you don't know about that, you're really probably not living in America. So
are you still recovering? Are you still recovering, Aurea, from Black Friday?
Yeah. See, but Black Friday doesn't stress me out. Remember, I have fun with Black Friday. I have my
That's right. So she didn't have to recover from it. Yes.
No, I'm good. Now, there's also, you may not know about the Small Business Saturday is right after Black Friday. And we really want to encourage people on November 28th to buy local, buy from a small business owner, excuse me, that you all know. Can you all think of maybe a small business owner you know? Excuse me.
Aurea McGarry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's right.
No, there's a great business that I'd love to support any chance I go. Don't forget your restaurants too. You can buy gift cards, support your restaurants. Big Oak Tavern in Roswell is one of my favorites. But a lot of restaurants are struggling. We can't forget them. But also there are still great mom and pop stores that are around. So please look around your area and support them. Between the Amazons, the Walmarts, and the big chains, the little guy has gone, the way of the dinosaur, but there are still a lot of them out here. Small businesses are the backbone of America's economy.
Absolutely.
I used to use Etsy. I was
about to say Etsy. God, we think alike.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I love it.
But yeah, I will go to Etsy a lot to shop for things. And those are, people who either have a side gig or trying to launch a small business on their own.
A lot of moms working from home. And please don't forget your local direct sellers, your Scentsies, your Tupperwares, your Mary Kay's. If you have had somebody in your life who's in your networking circle or family, it's a time to buy a little something from them. They always have great gifts. And those are really the ones, that again are staying home and trying to, make ends meet. But you will find them on Etsy. No, not Etsy. Etsy has to be homemade, doesn't it? think it has to be a
For the
craft.
most part, yes, it is.
I
It
thought
is
so.
usually crafts, but I mean, I think they're expanding. Where I've seen, some people who do a little larger than just here and there in their living room.
Mhm.
But I think it's important to point out too, this pandemic has really sent a lot of women who were in the workforce home,
Mhm.
especially women who
Oh,
are
God,
mothers.
yeah.
And so,
Hmm.
that's a whole different topic for a whole other show, to where it's like,
Mhm.
how in 2020 are we still putting the burden of the family on the mothers? However, there's a lot of mothers who are trying to make ends meet because their companies did not find value in them and sent them home this year. So,
You're right.
yes, be sure and support those women.
Support your local women for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a great time of year to do that. And we will talk about that for the new year. Absolutely. The resilient muscles and some great tips and resources on how to bounce back and who is bouncing back and how they did it. We want to give you guys a lot of success stories as well. So if you're watching and you are a business at home, you're a homeowner, you're having a home-based business, give us your website. Let us know what you got. Let us know what you have to sell, because this is the time people want to buy from you. It's a one
Hmm.
time a year. You don't have to worry about saying, hey, I've got gifts, I got things to sell, because we want to buy.
Exactly.
And we all probably also know about Cyber Monday, which is the Monday after the Black Friday and the Small Business Saturday. But it doesn't have to be, again, on the Amazon, which is great. It can be buying online from the small businesses as well. And don't forget about nonprofits and charities that do have, fundraisers right now and silent auctions and things they're selling to raise money. So that's a great way to, give back. And then there's a Cyber Week. I've heard about that, but this week, Cyber Week, because Cyber Monday was so successful, they've done December 2nd through the 8th. So if you're a business owner, you can capitalize on Cyber Week, and make sure you get into Google and find out all the hashtags that people are using for Cyber Week. So if you're posting on Instagram or on Twitter or on, it's not as relevant on Facebook to use hashtags, but the other platforms it is. So get into the conversations, because all of December 2nd to the 8th is a Cyber Week. So if you don't have a sale or promotion for that week, get that on your agenda to do that.
Well,
Hmm.
I think it's so funny as you talk about that. I mean, I remember when people that I knew, well, I'm not too sure about putting my credit card online. I'm not too
Yeah.
sure about this,
There's
Welcome to
people in
2020.
there.
online.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd rather go to the store. Well, the thing is, Cyber Monday has probably outpaced Black Friday. So, I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
the fact is that
Yes.
most people shop online now. So I think it's funny how just in a
They have
short period
changed.
of time, we have changed the way we do things.
I used
And
to not
and
give my
and
credit card for a $5 charge. Now I'm at Starbucks giving it for $1.50. Like, here's
right.
your credit card.
Right. Well, now you have to remember too, as long as you're not sloppy and you're being careful and
Mhm.
going to reputable sites, they're so secure now. Because they know this is their jam. They
Yeah.
know they got to protect your information, and cyber security is a big deal now because
Mm,
this is their lifeblood. Most of these companies, even Walmart. I mean, Walmart's trying to keep up with Amazon, so
for
they
sure.
know that if they're having breaches, and because anytime we have one of these credit card breaches, it's big news.
Yeah.
So you
Mhm.
can feel a whole lot better about shopping on, and you can give to your nonprofits online as well.
Right.
you
Speaking of
know
that, Mark, I want to bring that
yes.
up. December 1st this year is Giving Tuesday. It
Right.
normally comes up in November, and I'm always very active in Giving Tuesday. It's the big one day of the year where everybody, can really get involved if you're not all year long giving. Like I love to give to nonprofits all the time, but this is like the day to really
Mhm.
think about how you can help your nonprofits and your charities. So, Mark, I know you have some information about the giving back this year as well.
Yeah, and speaking of giving back, like every little bit helps this year. The last
Mm,
time I watched the news, which has been a minute, I saw the lines for the food banks. I want to say it was in Los Angeles, somewhere in Southern California. The food bank lines were
yeah.
unbelievable. So there are people just worrying about putting food on the table right now. So Giving Tuesday is a great opportunity to give back to those food banks, those places that help people find jobs, find opportunity, find housing. There are affordable housing initiatives out here that are nonprofits. You can give to them
Mhm.
because remember, if you have to shelter in place and you don't have a home, where do you go? Right? I mean, we are so caught up in our own existential nightmare, we
Right.
forget about the one that our poor friends and family are going through.
I actually
So,
have somebody that I know that had to go through this exact thing, and she fortunately was able to go through. And I wish I could remember which nonprofit helped house her
mhm,
in a hotel safely until she was able to get her own apartment. But their work is even more important because they understand having to do this in the middle of a
absolutely.
pandemic.
I
So,
know.
so you're right. I mean, people are still suffering. People
Right.
and
Mm,
more people are suffering this year. And just
starting all of
quickly,
it.
I think that when you get so involved in the news and the politics and people acting like children, you forget that is also a smokescreen on purpose to make you
Mhm.
forget about the suffering that
About the
people are
suffering.
having,
Yep.
that some people don't want to take responsibility
And I
for.
know, Melissa, you're going to
Absolutely.
talk about now how there's no shame in this being maybe you
No.
this year, because I believe we're
Yes.
all in this one together, where everybody, even the biggest of big companies, have felt the hurt of 2020.
Yes.
Right.
I'm somebody got laid off. I'm a single mom that got laid off. And had I not got my finances in order prior to this incident, I would be in trouble. And
Right.
so I was able to fortunately have a system put in place in which I'm able to have my emergency fund. I'm living off my emergency fund. That's why it's important to have one.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't have a
Most people probably don't.
Exactly. And so if you didn't get a chance to have an emergency fund and you're like me and got laid off and your life has completely changed, and because of the pandemic, you don't have people who will allow you to live with them, will allow you to be
Right.
around or come around
That's
you.
another obstacle.
I just
Yeah.
want to give these organizations that you probably have given to on Giving Tuesday and now have to be the recipient. So these
And
are the
that's
main
okay.
and these exactly, there's no shame in this.
Mm-mm.
These are the main organizations that will help you either with Christmas gifts, when it comes to finding a place, a shelter, or when it comes to even your utility bills. So don't forget about Toys for Tots.
Oh,
The
I
whole
love
point of
them.
Toys for Tots
I do
is to
show on them.
let your child have a Christmas, and so they're the ones to reach out for if you can't give your children a
They are
Christmas.
awesome.
Toys
They
for
were
Tots.
founded by the Marines. I just love
Right.
Right.
Toys for Tots.
Right.
Exactly. All right, Make a Wish. Don't forget about
Yes.
Make a Wish
Mhm.
Foundation, Angel Tree. We
Love
doll
Angel Tree.
angel trees. Well, if you're somebody that needs to put that angel on that tree at, wherever they have angel trees, at businesses and at shopping centers, and that has your child's size and your child's wishes, there's no shame in that. Go ahead and take advantage of that. Lions Club is always there. That's one of the jobs that the Lions Club does. I mean, you
Yeah.
probably
I didn't know that.
on
Yeah.
your seen the L in your communities. You pass by the
Right.
sign, welcome
Yeah.
to. Well, there's a reason Lions Club is around and they want to help you with that. And one last thing, Salvation Army has a specific outreach program called Reach, REACH, and they are there to help you pay your utility bills if you can't. So reach
Mm.
That's
out to
great.
Salvation Army for that. So please just know that a lot of times these are temporary situations. So don't let shame keep you from
Pride.
actually enjoying your holidays. Go ahead and take advantage of this, because if you've given, then you have absolutely the right to take from these organizations as well.
Yeah,
Right.
and just know nobody's looking. Really, nobody is, I would hope nobody is looking, because who can point a finger?
Not this year.
Not this year, and who
Mm.
would anyway? But you're right. We've all had to reach out. I had to reach out for help when I was a single mom. Normally, you were doing well, and yeah, everything could be going hunky dory. But I always think when I see the homeless and I see, somebody that doesn't have it, even have food on the table, I always think, there, but for the grace of God, go I.
Mhm.
We can all, get into that situation. And this year, like I said, so many people are struggling. So, Mark, I know you've got some ideas too for some people that have been struggling. And again, we're all in
Yeah.
this together, so that's why we're sharing.
Yeah, and to piggyback on the Salvation Army, remember, the red kettle drives are still going on. But what's the problem with the red kettle, right? You can't swipe your card, and who
Right.
carries
Mm,
cash anymore,
Right.
we just
right?
talked about
So
that.
their donations are down because people don't have that dollar, don't have that
You got
$5
to
in
stick
their
with what you got to
pocket.
be
You do it
modernized. You got
online?
to stick with what's going on.
Yep.
You
And
can do it
so,
online, right?
so yeah, now you can
Okay.
donate online. So, remember them,
Mhm.
in your giving.
What's it
Because
called? Is it called the Red
Salvation
Kettle?
Army. Yeah, Salvation Army, they're red kettle drives.
Okay, we
You
just go
just
to
Google it, go on
salvationarmy.org.
go on their website.
Mhm.
They have an
Great
icon to
point.
give.
Great
Because
point, Mark.
no one carries cash anymore.
I don't.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So it's one of those things where you gotta kind of keep, but what would Christmas be without the red kettle guys?
I
I
know,
know.
right?
Right?
Will they be out this year? I know both of us.
Oh,
No.
they're out. I saw them
I haven't seen them
last
yet.
week. They're out already.
See, Melissa?
Um
They're out for Thanksgiving. Just saying.
And the other thing I wanted you to remember too is there are families out here. I'll never forget one of
What'd you say, Mark? Keep going, Mark. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I just had some kind of
Some white noise over there.
White noise going on, yeah.
I'll never forget when my kids were young, I was trying to teach them about the importance of giving back and the importance of understanding and being grateful for your blessings. And I took them to a church where we had adopted a family, and they were the working poor. And so when the day came when we were to bring the tree and the turkey dinner, the gifts, we knew how many kids they had. We knew what they wanted on their wish list, and we bought their Christmas dinner too. So you basically supplied Christmas for this family. And
Nice.
so Malcolm asked me, he's like, well, if they're working, why do they need help? And so it was a great opportunity for me to explain to him and Kenny that just because you work doesn't mean you make enough to have Christmas and to have everything you want. You may have the things you need, but you won't always have everything you want. Just out of some fluke. It might be something out of your control.
That's working parents' dilemma, for the most part in America.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, or anywhere.
And it's expanding now. When you think about the cost of living, everywhere is going up, 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 and it's outpacing wage growth. So, we have to remember that there are families out here struggling. So Christmas in a box, adopt a family.
Love Adopt a Family.
Yeah, Adopt a Family. I mean,
We'll put all those links in.
Yeah, does it get any better than that? I mean, I have the link for hopefleet.org, and that was brought on by Hurricane Dorian that ravaged the Bahamas. So this organization is trying to make sure that, these kids are getting a Christmas too. Central America has just been hit really hard by two hurricanes. Eta came through, then Iota went through.
2020, Jeepers Creepers.
And 2020 keeps on giving.
Yeah.
So we
and they haven't had hurricanes this late in the year. So I mean that's
what I'm saying. November for hurricanes.
Oh, it's crazy.
Something's out of whack.
So
that's another show.
That's another show. That's right.
Another show. We got lots of shows coming up. Just saying.
But but even if we don't give what we're accustomed to giving,
anything
it still helps. It still matters.
It does. And I even think give your resources too. You may, help somebody out, with something that you have a talent for.
Right.
Well, there's always a balance. There's people who are profiting this year. Like we talked off air. I had a buddy that got a job with Zoom a couple of years ago. I'm sure she's thrilled to death that she took that job at a company she didn't know at the time. But there are definitely companies that are thriving and people, entrepreneurs that are thriving. So the one other thing about Giving Tuesday and all these charities we talked about, whether you're giving to them or taking from them, if you're in a good position, don't forget about taxes, because one of the things that so many people regret when it comes tax season, your CPA probably says, well, how much charity how much money did you give away?
More.
That helps in your taxes. That may not sound like the wonderful selflessness, but still it's a business decision. So also think about Giving Tuesday from a tax perspective, and that this is the time
end of the year.
To go ahead and to spend that budget and helping people get through this year.
Now, it's not going to get you down to $750, but it does help.
Everything else.
Big. All right.
Well, guys.
Almost over. Almost over.
Guys, Melissa, you were just saying, and Mark, I want to get to your list of great gifts for under $40, I think, or under $30.
Yes.
But you just reminded me of something, Melissa, and you said, sometimes you give to the charity, sometimes you take.
Yeah.
And, many years ago, gosh, it's been, I don't know if my age is showing. Has it been 30 years? Gosh, it's been a while. Gosh, how old am I? Lord, holy moly.
It's all right. 30 years ago.
If you could just be quiet.
Age
your little jammies on.
Age is okay. It's okay.
Look at me, little Rudolph. Yeah, I know. But I remember I was a single mom and I just escaped domestic violence and I just wanted to leave. I did not have an exit strategy or plan or anything like that, except that I had that free car and I was, doing Mary Kay at the time. So I had a little bit, but even when you're working and you're a single mom, ends don't meet, because the more you work, the more I had to pay for daycare, or we didn't have daycare back in that day. I had a babysitter, so nothing ever met. And I remember making decisions like, today, do I get milk or do I get gas for my car? Right. And I remember so clearly, like it was yesterday, I prayed. I said, Lord, I know I'm smart. I know I'm capable. If you help me find a way to be able to earn the living, I promise that when I have I will give back. And it didn't matter to me. It was I knew what $5 would have done to me back then, or $100 would have meant the world. And I made it. But there was a moment, there was like 6 months, I had to reach out for food stamps. I didn't stay on them. There's no shame in reaching out when ends
That's what
aren't
those
meeting.
programs are there for. That's what those programs are there for.
And that's when I was good, true to my word when I started making money. And ever since then, I have given back. Nonprofits are my life now, because I remember what it's like to make those decisions. And I promised God, and it's no burden, to give back with joy, to say, hey, I've been there and here I want to give. Because I want to make more so I can give more. That's my motto.
Well, I think also, since you bring up single moms, I mean, like, again, I'm not in a situation where I have to worry, and I'm thankful for that. But I do think that, one of the things as a parent, you want to keep your kid from having to have that worry or have that struggle or have that awkwardness or self-consciousness. So you talk about that $100, how many clothes would that have paid for? If you're a smart shopper, how many shoes? I mean, so the thing, like I said, with the Toys for Tots and things, like, make sure your child doesn't suffer the ego trip that you're going through, because that's basically what it is. I mean, it's your ego trying to tell you it's not okay, and that's ridiculous, because it's okay to ask for help, because sometimes I think God puts you in a position where you're forced to ask for help. And one of the other things, to teach you that lesson. Now, one of the things, I do want to bring up another charity really quickly. If you're somebody like me who is a transplant recipient, the Georgia Transplant Foundation is there specifically for transplant recipients who get into financial hurt, because those medications are very expensive, and my insurance is very expensive. But if you can't cover that this holiday season, if you can't cover some of your bills, then make sure to go out to the Georgia Transplant Foundation and seek their guidance in getting help for you.
Great point, Melissa. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Well, there is help out there, and everybody's going to need help at some point in the life, because we, all get through different times in our life, but we all have to reach up at some point. So this some point in 2020 just happens to be more people reaching up, but that's okay. We can do
I do want to, Mark, you mentioned, because again, it's to focus on the people that are doing well and do want to give gifts and do want to help their clients. Like, I am curious what's on that list, because
let's do it.
That might be a good shopping list for other people too, for people in their lives who may not be clients but not close family members.
Right, absolutely.
Give us the list. Give us the list.
Yeah, I found this at goodhousekeeping.com, not a magazine or site that I frequent, but
really?
I will go there.
Excellent.
I'm sure you're there every day, Mark.
I read the articles.
No, we're going there. That's usually a Melissa line.
You took us there. I know. Thank you.
Melissa, you are rubbing off on both of us.
It's still my fault.
I was so wholesome before I started doing this show. So some of the items on the list for the
take us anywhere.
goodhousekeeping.com, right? So they've got the portable reusable drinking straw, which is really nice, especially in the days of COVID. So that's like $6, right? They've got,
but it's unique.
Yes, super unique, personalized leather keychains, a monthly sock subscription. I like that.
Are they cute socks?
Yes,
Good.
super duper cute socks. And and I'm a sock guy. I like my bright.
Melissa, he's giving us a hint. He's a sock guy. Writing it down.
We're slow. Yeah. Yes.
That's off an outfit, especially for a guy. You got your dull blue suit on.
Do you wear socks with your sandals? I'm just saying.
No, that's a negative. That is a negative.
But there's lotion. But there's lotion on those feet, right? Just saying. If you don't wear socks with sandals, then you better lotion up them
Mrs.
feet.
Hayes would not allow me outside looking like I've been kicking flour.
We can never keep this going. Kicking flour.
Holiday ornament face masks, and they're personalized. I mean, $6. Gemstone decor drop earrings. So I mean, you've got stuff on here for everybody. On new phone. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Got masks
and
on.
those are so. And you know what? These gifts were designed to be thoughtful, just like those Christmas ornaments.
I've got our names on it, but that's mine.
The toilet paper.
Carter. Yeah.
I love it. And of course, I have Snoopy.
And you see how you see how personal they
Gotta
are.
have fun. But some people don't want to remember 2020. So I was asking on my Facebook profile, are you going to remember 2020 or not? But Melissa, I thought of you.
I disagree.
me of how much
Yes.
people love me that they're wearing a mask.
Yes,
Right.
Really-
2020, there's so many, like, people talk about, and I know we're derailing, but I just want to say quickly.
We always
that,
do.
2020, like, people dismissing it, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because
So many good things from it.
I got to be a kindergarten teacher for my son this year. I'll never
Oh,
regret that. I mean,
That's
this has been such a magical time for me and my son, because I've spent so much more time with him this year than I've
Oh,
ever been
yeah.
able to spend with him, except when he was an infant. And so I just really think that people
More time with
just
family.
relax and think about what you are getting in return.
Grateful for.
The fact that I got laid off has allowed me to pursue things I hadn't thought about pursuing in years.
Oh, me too.
So
Yes.
it's just, there's
yes.
struggles or opportunities. So
Exactly.
it does make me uncomfortable. I mean, I'm ready to get out of 2020, and I'm
Right.
ready for things to move forward. However, I won't regret 2020, because
Not
I
at
think
all.
so
Right.
many good things happened as well. So
And our show happened, brought us
and our show
together.
happened. If without the pandemic,
Absolutely.
our show wouldn't have happened.
We wouldn't
So
be here together.
And we hear about how divorce attorneys are doing really well.
yeah.
You never hear about how well families are doing because they're getting to know each other again.
We're doing great.
couples
Mark,
are
I'm sure you're
falling in
doing great.
Yeah, couples are falling in love all over again. Like my mother-in-law's coming for Christmas, and
Nice.
we're excited because we just get to see her. We
Right.
just get to, and she's excited. And my mom comes over. She just comes and sits and read a book and sit on the couch, and and it's all good.
You
Fair
know,
And
enough.
this brings us back to Thanksgiving, Mark and Elizabeth.
Yes.
Next, when Thanksgiving comes, I think we'll air this right before Thanksgiving, is you really now have probably the laundry list of things you're thankful for more than ever, because we always say we're thankful for our family and our friends. This year,
Mhm.
I think it really will resonate even bigger that we are thankful for our friends,
Right.
our grandmothers, our grandparents that are still alive. And
It's like I said last week, I'm thankful to be alive.
Me
I'm thankful
too.
Right.
to be able to be that person that generations in the future will say, well, what was it like to live through a pandemic?
2020.
Right.
And I
we had
get
to
to
do
say
it.
it. I get to be
Right.
alive to say I survived a pandemic.
That's gonna be a T-shirt. I survived 2020.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be
That a
plenty of
Christmas
those.
gift under $30?
Oh, it's out there.
I'm sure it's out there.
It's out there.
But to be able, to be able to talk about it is a
Mhm.
privilege. To get through this is a privilege. So
It
yes,
really
very
is.
thankful.
And I'm with you,
Absolutely.
you guys. There's so much good stuff. And I know I just had to pivot because my whole world was eventing and at events and live in person and emceeing. It all shut down. And I quickly pivoted to going online, which is where I've always known I had to be, but you never have
Mhm.
time to do it.
Right.
It was like push came to shove, and that online course had to be created. And so I'm doing right now. And it's just already got a waiting list of people who want to get into it. So it's something that's funny how God has his mysterious ways of making things happen that needed to happen anyway. So I encourage
Mhm.
everybody, find those things in your life that if you have this time now to be settled and be quiet and have to just kind of be still, think
Mhm.
about what your next step could be. It could be greater than if we just kept on being busy. And one of my friends said something so wise just last week. One of my mentors, she said, busy is the new stupid.
Mhm.
That's true.
I believe
Yeah.
it.
Sometimes we're
Here,
just
here.
busy being busy. And this is a real
yes,
eye opener.
and especially if you're in financial ruin, like as hard as it sounds, we've all been there where you're in a situation, whether in a relationship or job or whatever it is, and you are in the midst of depression. There is still things you can be thankful for. There's still things,
Yes.
because good things are always happening, even when you're not paying attention. So
Mhm.
especially if you're suffering,
Yeah.
this is the time to pivot your emotions, and that actually helps pivot your life.
And it helps people
Well,
reach
and
out. Help
yeah,
loners help reach
and you
out.
guys know how sensitive the egos can be surrounding media folks. And I tell young kids all the time that are coming into the business, don't let this business define you. This is not who you are. It's just what you do.
Mm,
It's not who
good
you are.
advice.
It's just what you do, because there's going to come a time, just like pro football and pro basketball players, where no team in the league wants your services
Want you
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Outgrow it.
There-
If you're your own
That
business
time
owner,
comes.
you don't outgrow
Yeah.
it. Be an
Right.
entrepreneur.
That time comes, right?
That's right.
So
There's an expiration date on media.
absolutely, and I knew it was coming, and I was waiting for it and welcoming it. So if you can get to that place, you know, and it feels good. All you have to do is figure out where you're going next, right?
And it was
Figure
all
out-
a stepping stone. You had to go through that. Like we were just talking before we went on the
Get where
air.
you
Those are all
Yep.
stepping stones to what went next. So nothing is a waste at all. as
Right.
you-
That's
as
the
you know.
reason labor hurts so much. Think about it. Labor hurts, but then look what happens through labor. I mean, to me, that's how life is. Sometimes you have to be birthed into a new phase of your life, and the labor hurts.
Really? That's another show.
That's what I heard. I mean, not that I would know.
On that
Willing
note,
to
Mark,
help
give us
however I
I know.
can.
On that note, Mark, give us a few more real quick ones for under what you got. Your list is under 30
Under
or under
30
40?
bucks. Yeah, under $30.
$30. Okay.
Goodhousekeeping.com, and of course we'll slap the
Yes, your favorite
the
online
link
source.
there. Yep. And you know, they have the what do you meme stack of cards.
We
So
play
you-
that game. We
Yes,
love that
yes.
game. That's
Do
Brian's
you?
favorite, actually. It's so fun.
$19.99.
It's
You can't beat
great
that.
fun.
You know, real text conversations, but better. Right? Each card
Yeah.
prompts players to come up with the funniest text responses,
We
all
should
of
play
which
that.
could be heard by those ages 17.
We could play it virtually. Let's have
So,
a What the Meme
yes.
virtual game night.
I
Well,
mean,
there's-
that is
yeah.
awesome.
All those
And-
card games,
Thank
like
you,
I
Mark.
have a friend who created You Don't Know My Life. That's another card game. It's about $35. And he is someone who has done interviews with celebrities as his career. And he found the most interesting interview questions
I want
put
that.
together, and it's called You Don't Know My Life. And it is a fantastic game. I don't play like on a board or
Nice.
anything. I
I
just take them to
want that.
dinner, and it will start
Yes.
conversation. It is phenomenal.
Well, it's
So,
on my
yes.
list. We love
Yeah,
playing games. Our family. we've got
I
games in the
have
house.
a stack of those cards in my car, in
I
my
love it.
purse whenever I go, when I go back to being able to go to dinner. And you just start asking the questions, and it is so interesting.
funny.
You get to know more about your friends, even though you've known them for years.
Let's do an
Right.
episode on that, and we can ask each other's
Sure.
questions and the viewers.
Sounds
think that
like a
would be
plan.
That's a plan.
Awesome.
Well, this is great. This is great. We've given you guys some help and some resources, and really, hopefully, the three of us can give you all hope that you're not alone, and there's people out there that love you, care for you, and you can join our community, and we're here to love on you. And just know that just being alive this year, there's just a lot of good things to be thankful for. And if you do need help, if there is some life and death situations, because we know that there is people that contemplate suicide on a regular year this
Yep.
time of year, that could be escalated
Right.
even more. And some people that really need some serious help and resources, please reach out to somebody. Don't go through this life alone. And there is help if you reach out to do that. The only thing we can't do for you is reach out for you. You've got
And
to
there's
do
no
that.
there's no shame in mental health. If you're having a
Mhm.
bad time, if you are contemplating suicide, if you're not that far, but you know something's not right, there's no shame in that. Mental
Nope.
health is just like anything. If you got a sore muscle, you get it worked. You
Mhm.
figure out what's wrong. Mental health, same thing. There is no problem in getting mental health help.
Yep.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And on that note, I want to thank you guys for all. We're going to do ours not so smart in just a second, but y'all showed up with the holiday attire, and I just have to say, kudos. I mean, we've got Mark, your Rudolph. I mean, you mean with this Snoopy, and Melissa, tell us about your hat, and I love your background too. Tennessee Volts, Bowls. What are they?
Bowls. Volunteers.
All right, Aurea. Okay,
I'm not,
you represent a whole group of people out there.
I know, I do.
So say the word volunteer.
Volunteer,
Now just say the first syllable.
vol.
That's what it is. Volunteers, the Vols, the Tennessee Vols.
UT
Yeah,
volunteers.
orange and red kind of clash. The only time I wear red,
I like it though. I'm going to ask a really dumb question. Is it football, basketball? What is it?
it's all. I mean, this is all Vol. baby.
University.
Yes.
Got
So
it.
University of
Okay.
Tennessee- University of Tennessee Volunteers. Is where
I
I went to
love that.
college. So yeah. So
Learn something every day.
Well, and the funny thing is, like and orange and red clash for a reason.
Not
just
on
saying.
Christmas. Yeah, I think it looks great. It looks great. And I
Thank you very
love your
much.
Christmas lights. See, we're getting her in the Christmas spirit earlier this year. We're going to keep it up. And I had to take a quick picture of I have 3 trees. And that's still not enough because Angel still wants me to add more. She would have a tree in every
3
room in the bathroom.
trees.
This is my foyer
that
tree,
background,
actually.
that background of hers is her actual house.
That's my foyer.
It looks like a professional background.
Right. Right.
you.
Like a Google.
This is what you see when you enter my house. It's my first one. But I put all my little fuzzy white critters in there, my polar bears, which I love. So I just thought it was such a great idea. I saw that somebody, my best friend sent me a picture of all these polar bears on a Christmas tree. And I thought, I have some of those that I normally put on shelves. So what it would look like. And I stuck them in the tree. And now I'll never be without my little white critter tree in my front hallway. So it just makes me smile.
And if you want to ask Aurea for that picture so you can have a festive holiday background on your Zoom meeting, go ahead and message her right now.
Just
And said 1999.
Exactly. It could be yours. Easy.
True entrepreneurship in action here, ladies and gentlemen.
She does take cash, but she'll also take online payments. So
Yeah, sure. Venmo, pay cash apps.
the Aurea Kettle Fund,
Right.
fund drive, whatever.
Oh my gosh. And Mark, we love Rudolph. Zebra. Oh, we're just big
Yes.
kids.
So
We love
my Rudolph deal is I'm obsessed with Rudolph and Yukon Cornelius.
That's right. It was on another episode.
Yeah.
That's
So, I will literally watch, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer like every night during the holiday season.
I didn't know it was an obsession. Melissa,
Oh,
he's got an
yeah.
obsession.
Oh,
I love it. Well, yes, I mean,
Because
I love him even more. I didn't know I could love Mark more, but I do.
I didn't know we could
But
either.
Bumbles bounce, and I mean, there's love for everybody. Everybody's got a talent.
Oh.
And the Island of
You know.
Misfits.
Island of
it's
Misfits.
perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
We find homes for those guys too.
Yes.
Underdogs.
And who's the one that wants to be a dentist? What's his name?
Oh, that's
Oh, yes.
He just wants to be a dentist.
love him.
This is hard.
See you
Lord.
second Tuesday.
Hold on. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna figure out who.
Yeah,
Oh, you figure out
his
who it
name.
is.
I can't remember his name.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Well,
gosh.
we're
And
gonna have to watch
that's
Rudolph
driving
again to
crazy.
refresh our memory. Mark, while Melissa's looking for his name, tell us you're not so smart, and let's wrap up our show with some fun laughter.
Okay, so my not so smart. I got a little tired of the just everyday kind of crime.
The everyday dumb
So,
people.
Yeah, so the everyday dumb stuff. So I started digging around and I found the 13 dumbest criminals in the world. And so it's like not based on time or anything like that. So this one goes back to 2012. And these couple of clowns decided
sell
down
clowns.
in Australia,
I used to
down in
be a clown.
Australia. Yeah, I was always scared of clowns anyway.
Hey.
But down in Australia, these two Looney Tunes decided that they were going to steal a penguin.
No, not a penguin.
Yeah, they stole a penguin. Yeah, they got.
How do you
they
steal
got.
a penguin?
That's a
But
good
here's the
question.
thing about penguins and why this is not so smart. Number one, it wasn't yours. Okay, so thou shalt not steal. Number two is penguins are really stinky. So I
Like, is
learned
they
that when the
slippery?
Georgia, when I when I learned that when the Georgia Aquarium opened, and I went over to the penguin exhibit, and one of the trainers over there was telling me how much they really smell.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I
I
do
would
not
have
smell
the
good at
penguin
all.
experience there.
Yeah,
for
they got a
Mother's Day one
funky
day.
odor to 'em. Yeah, they got
Smell?
a funky situation going on with it.
Okay.
Right? So these guys probably
So they
didn't
smell
know that at all.
and they're
Yeah, oh, yeah.
slippery. So
They
now
smell,
what?
they're slippery, they swim
And they
fast.
funky.
Right. But
I'm still
now,
with
the zoo
Melissa.
got-
How did they steal it?
well, that's a great question
'Cause-
because how do you get into those, those enclosures where they have
habitats and
them?
stuff.
Yeah,
Yes. Had to
Angel's
be an
listening, and
inside
she'll
job.
probably be the next one to steal a penguin. I'm gonna say.
Hey, please no, please don't. We will definitely smell the penguin before it gets there. But they ended up getting the penguin back. These two clowns got a couple years in jail. I mean, you deserve jail time. You're stealing,
Yeah,
penguins,
don't steal a
stealing animals
penguin.
from the zoo. I mean,
Yeah.
are you ridiculous or something? But it's not so smart to steal penguins because they stink.
I mean,
That's a
Yeah.
whole other level of just don't.
Dumb.
it's to me where you get there and then you realize how much they stink and then you're committed. So it's
Right.
like, okay, well now
Too
what?
late
You know,
now.
you're too late. Yeah.
You know,
Well,
if
you
Angel and
gotta
I
go
got a
home
hold
and
of a
wash 'em
penguin,
up.
we wouldn't care. We'd be running off of that penguin. We wouldn't care at all how much it smelled. But don't steal a penguin. Poor little thing.
Aurea's got her penguin smell. There was a guy that look, there was a guy, don't tell anybody I told you this story, but there was a guy when I was in college that because I was
Uh-oh.
in Cayo and I was a little sister to Sig Up, and so he was a Sig Up, and we would have parties, and he didn't wear deodorant. He was one of those naturalists.
Oh.
But at the parties,
Poor
we would
fella.
say that he had his cologne on. That was our
Yeah.
tip, that you may not want to dance with him because if you do, it's like dancing with a penguin. So
Ooh.
anyway, so
Ooh.
You know-
Aurea's got her penguin cologne on. Is what we'll say if you're stealing a
Hey,
penguin.
hey, hey.
All right.
Wowzers.
All right. So first of all,
Oh, Melissa.
Hermie Hermie, the elf.
Hermie, the
Hermie, the elf.
dentist.
He just wants to be a
Yes.
dentist. He just wants to be a dentist. All right. So my not so smart is also criminally related. And this comes out of the great state of South Carolina.
Uh-oh.
And it is a guy who, and I provided the surveillance tape, but basically there was a guy who was a porch pirate. He was stealing packages.
I hate those.
This is not,
crazy.
especially this time of year. Now, come on.
Leave people alone.
Porch pirate. Again, contact these services we've mentioned. Don't steal from others. If you're desperate enough, it's still not okay to steal.
Right.
So he was a porch pirate, and he was caught on camera, on a surveillance camera, stealing this. And he had his North Face shirt on. So when he was summoned to go see the judge, Mr. Smarty Pants decided that he was going to wear the exact same North Face shirt to the hearing. Now,
you big dummy.
And so that's not so smart. But what I also think too is the person that's screaming that the loudest is North Face, because every time somebody does something dumb and has like your college shirt on or your company shirt on, like that's the branding that North Face don't want that. I mean, it's nice that you want to wear our shirt all the time, but not in the courroom. So yeah, not so smart. But
Mark, it reminds me of Mark's not so smart when the guy was running from the cops and his shirt said dumbass.
Dumbass.
Yes.
Here I am.
Exactly.
In case you couldn't recognize me in the video, I wore the same clothes.
Exactly.
As he's saying, not guilty, Judge.
Yes. I mean,
It wasn't me.
It was, yes. The lawyer probably wanted to just crawl away.
Why did the lawyer take that off and loan him a shirt? I mean, people still.
Gosh almighty.
So
my God.
Too funny.
Too funny. All right. Well, I went Christmas theme for a little trivia knowledge for you guys that you may not know. And you know how much I love movies, and you guys do too. In the movie Miracle on 34th Street, we all remember Natalie Wood.
Yes.
Yes, it was one of my favorite movies. And when they cast
what kind of wood doesn't sing?
Yeah, Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood. I'm sorry.
Wow. Wow.
Is it too soon, Mark? Is it too soon?
Just a little bit. It's an old one.
It's been 40 years, but it's still not funny. Not funny.
Still not funny.
So,
This is the not so smart section, not the not so funny section.
I'm sorry.
Gosh.
Win that game, right? Okay, I'm sorry. Rachel. Go ahead.
May I continue?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So rudely interrupted.
I know.
Anyway, when they cast little Natalie Wood in that movie, she still believed in Santa Claus. I mean, she thought Santa Claus was real. And then she thought that the actor, Edmund Gwenn, who played Santa, was really Santa. The entire filming, she thought.
Here's a spoiler alert if your kids are watching the show.
Oh,
with
yes.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you time to turn it off.
Spoiler alert.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, we got to shut off. Get the kids out of the room. So this is really not so smart because they knew that she believed in Santa, and the actor Edmund Gwenn knew that she thought he was Santa. And then when they go to the wrap party, he attends the wrap party, which is what you have after you're done filming. Everybody has this end of filming party. He goes in street clothes. And she was so shocked, devastated. And that's when she realized it wasn't a Santa and he wasn't Santa. Not so smart. Keep
Wow.
your head on.
Oh, there's so many
funny.
stories about like Shirley Temple and how they got rid of the emotion. Like, yeah, it's not so smart when you have children on set. You need to anywhere.
Keep it up, people.
Yes. I mean,
Yes.
I'm amazed that this is a tradition that we've kept up generation after generation, even during the time of the internet. I am very pleased that this is the first time that we can all agree to keep this going, because it's fascinating that we all believe in the magic so much that we want everybody to feel it. So I think that's great.
And go out and be somebody else's Santa this year. Be Santa.
Well, they should have just told him not to come. Like,
he could come, just come in character.
No, I just think don't come to the party. Just don't come to the party.
Don't come at all, because Santa should be gone.
Oh, that's
Santa doesn't hang out.
Well, they were probably filming in July, but still.
I know, yes.
Right.
They could have.
She already knew him. Just stay in character. But even the clothes that he wore in the movie, he could have worn. But he wore street clothes, he looked like just a regular guy. So she devastated and didn't believe in Santa after that. So that wasn't so smart. Anyway, Merry Christmas on that note.
And look what happened to her. Anyway, I'm joking. It's a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry.
She's darker than I thought.
Sorry.
My wholesomeness is at risk on this show.
Well, like Mark and I always say, we take no responsibility for what comes out of Melissa's mouth.
That's the disclaimer on the show.
There's a disclaimer. It's going to be bigger this year.
The thoughts and opinions of Melissa Carter do not reflect
The
us as a
Smart Talk
whole.
show and cast and crew.
I know.
Yeah, she's got nothing on my stripper cash app.
Oh my gosh. If you've missed episodes, people, you need to go back. I'm just saying, you
Strippers
need to
need
go back and watch
review.
them.
Strippers also trying to make a living. Don't forget.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Cash App
makes
virtual
it easy.
strippers,
They'll take
2020.
donations online.
I bet they're doing well this year. Oh, it's another show. Another show. And please don't forget before we close that Hanukkah this year is December 23rd through the 30th. Kwanzaa is December 26th. And then Boxing Day is December 26th, when all the big box retailers all liquidate everything and all the holiday stuff they have left over. And you can too, whether you're a nonprofit, want to get rid of all the stuff that didn't go on in auction, or whether you're a home-based business, direct seller, whatever. Big Box Day is December 26th. Use the hashtag, clear out all your inventory, make some big money for the new year, and then donate
Huge in
some
Canada.
tax deduction before.
Well, I was going to say, I love how they took, that's a British holiday. So
Mhm.
Boxing Day actually stems back to royalty, where people who worked for the rich had to work on Christmas Day. So Boxing Day was when they were able to box up their goods and go home and celebrate Christmas. It was
The next day. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was the working class that was their Christmas. So I love how the United States has taken it and said,
They really
it's
have.
in your inventory. But I mean, it makes sense because you've heard Boxing Day, but you don't. So yes, it's always been on my calendars. And for years I was like, what? The print calendars, like, what is that day?
All right.
It's an old,
Big in Canada.
I was thinking
It's an old-
boxing.
yes, it's an old British holiday, but like you said, there is something to take advantage of for
Yeah.
26. Yeah.
Gravitate into those hashtags, sell your products and goods. This is the time of year everybody wants to buy and gift, and we kind of have to. So
Yeah.
have fun with that. Be very, very profitable this time of year. And we all hope you have the absolute best, wonderful Christmas holiday. And we're not done with you. We've got lots more shows before Christmas to come.
Yes,
And,
there's some time before Christmas, Araya.
I didn't want to wait till last minute. So I've got to get these things to you early. Because
Just
look,
be-
December 1st is already one of the days to, is Giving Tuesday. Look at me.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, gosh.
I'm in the
Next
minority
year, I'm going to
this
start at Easter. We're going to start talking about Christmas.
Oh
Watch
my
out.
gosh.
All right, guys. Look, she's crying. You didn't know what you got into when you got started with this show, did you? Happy 2020. Well, thanks again, you guys. We will see you next week. Don't go away. Share these episodes with your friends and community. We hope they're great resources for you. You all just have a quick last word for this. We have more Christmas shows to come, more shows before Christmas, but you have a last minute word for this holiday show to give to the viewers as we sign off.
If you're going through it, don't forget to pray. Prayer works.
And
Thank you.
don't get so discouraged by what you can't do this holiday. Be thankful for what you can do and still be safe.
Amen.
And still social distance and still wear your mask, because we are not out of this yet.
And be good to yourself. Give yourself a gift of whether it's self-care or some moments of just peace. Like Mark said, some prayer. Do something for you, especially moms out there. Give yourself the gift of something that makes you happy and smile. Like right here, my tree, just looking at that as I walk out my office door makes me smile every day. And Melissa, I'm not taking it down this year. It'll be up all year. Because it makes you smile. So whatever
He brought
floats
that.
your boat.
She brought the Christmas
I did.
Christmas tree card out.
I can't-
I'm so stunned by the imagery of your lit owl and all your wonderful decorations on that tree and your rustic Christmas. That
Amazing.
I'm at a loss for words.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I just can't wait for us to get Angel in the room with you, because you really, and you, Mark, it's going to be like Christmas extravaganza. Oh man, then don't even get her starting playing games. She'll win in any game in trivia, that's for sure.
We're going to do these card games. That's going to be
Okay,
fun.
well, fun. All right, guys. Well, have a great one. Signing off for this time. We'll see you next week. And we go live on Facebook every Wednesday at noon. So join the conversation and you can chime in on all this craziness and resources as well. So have a great one, guys. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.